Yo guys, sorry, you already know that today I'm bringing you guys my Week 4 TBU battle against Trev and the Atlanta Braviarys. So if you guys missed it yesterday, I did upload the team analysis video, which I strongly encourage that you check out because this is probably the most effort that I've put into a single team ever, in both time and effort-wise. I spent so much time putting every little detail of this team together, and I was so excited to share every little facet of this team and why it is possibly the most cohesive team that I've ever made in the history of ever. So I was really excited for this battle, I was really excited for this match, and I was really excited to play Trev. I have heard that he is a very, very good player, but I have never had the pleasure of battling him. This is his first TBU battle. He actually took over for a coach that left. Quill and the Juventus. Quill had to step down, which is unfortunate because I was looking for a rematch from last season when he beat me, but that's okay. We take on Trev instead, and yeah, I was really excited for this match. However, he is a really good player, and we really need to win. There is still a chance for us to make playoffs, but we need to win and able to do that. If we lose again, I think it's basically mathematically like over, like almost. So while we're mathematically still in it, we are going to give it our all, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into the team matchup and the battle and all that good stuff. So a quick rundown of my team, just so you know. I do have a max, or I have an Electabuzz that's fast enough to outspeed Manaphy, with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Toxic, and Hidden Power Ice. With an Eviolite, I have a nice and sub-bulk up Komala with Rock Slide and Earthquake, with enough special defense investment to not let Cofagrigus break my sub. I have a Firium Z Arcanine with enough defense investment to take on a Drapion, a Life Orb Drapion without Stealth Rocks, or a not Life Orb Drapion with Stealth Rocks. The set was kind of weird, but it works. And then the rest was split into offense. I do have a max speed, max offense Lando I with, it was like Stealth Rocks, Calm Mind, Earth Power, Rock Slide. Because there was a Talonflame, so rock moves are cool. A specially defensive Unaware Clefable with Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Moonlight, and Heal Bell. And then a physically defensive Palisand with Earth Power, HB Ice, Shore Up, and Rock Slide, I think, again, or Stone Edge, whichever one killed Talonflame. But as you can see, Talonflame did not show up. What Trev did bring was the Mega Garchomp, the Thunderous Eye, the Fortress, the Drapion, Cofagrigus, and the Savali. And I hate taking on Savali because it never tells you exactly what type it is, which sucks. But we'll get into what type it is when we get there. But heading into this battle, I had to essentially assess what didn't show up and how that helps me. So I knew in my gut feeling that Manaphy probably wasn't going to show up, and I was right. Manaphy is not here, which really frees up Electabuzz to do more, since I don't need to save it around, per se, just to take on Manaphy. The Talonflame didn't show up, which, again, I wasn't too surprised about, but I was still happy to not have to deal with it. And Terrakion did not show up, which I was very, very happy about, which means Palisand only needs to take on the Mega Garchomp and nothing else, and it doesn't need to worry about taking on more than one threat, so I don't need to worry about saving it too much. And with that being said, let's go ahead and just get into this battle. I had decided before starting that I was going to lead off with Electabuzz. Electabuzz has a good matchup against everything, except for the Garchomp, which I didn't think that he would lead with. If anything, he would predict the Volt switch into it, and then I have my switch into Garchomp, which is Palisand, and Palisand only needs to switch into Garchomp, not Terrakion, because it's not here. So I figured that Electabuzz was a safe lead. I could Volt switch and just get momentum off in that way. So let's go ahead and get into this battle and find out if we're going to continue to be a disappointment, or if we can finally pick up our first win. We're going to be challenged by LaQuisha, stepping in for Trev right now, but I mean, that is, you know, Trev is LaQuisha. LaQuisha is the inner Trev, I suppose. But he is actually going to lead off with the Mega Garchomp, so that is a little unfortunate because my Hidden Power Ice cannot take out the Garchomp, and my Eviolite is not going to let me live in Earthquake. So I can just switch into my Mega Garchomp switch-in, which is Palisand. Do not underestimate the power of Palisand because it's very good. I am very much enjoying it, but as this Garchomp turns into the Crimson Chin, he's going to go ahead and hit me up with that Earthquake. Good thing I did switch out. And you can see that Palisand just eats that up. That is a Mega Garchomp base, what, 170 attack, probably fully invested. Earthquake hitting that Palisand, but we don't really care. So this is our switch in. We know what we got to do. We just stay in and we HP Ice. And that is what we're going to do as he sets up the Swords Dance. Very, very scary. Possibly thought that I was going to maybe heal up there and was going to take advantage of that, but I'm just going to attack. It's all good because I could have lived another hit, which is all that really mattered. And now Garchomp is at the range that a lot of my things can kill it. The two things that outspeed it on my team can kill it. I have an Unaware Clefable that can live a hit most likely. It's all good. Now he goes behind a Substitute, probably thinking I'm going to heal up again, but no, I don't need to heal up. I don't need to preserve this Palisand. Palisand would have only needed to be preserved if Terrakion was also brought, but because this is the only thing it's brought for, it doesn't matter. I just leave Palisand in until he decides to kill it, but he, you know, is predicting me to switch out, he's predicting me to heal up. I'm assuming that he's predicting me to heal up, but I didn't need it, you know, because once he takes me out, which he is going to take me out with a +2 Earthquake, I can just revenge this Garchomp, which is fine, and the next time Garchomp comes in, again, the only thing that it straight up takes out is, what, Arcanine, and maybe one other thing, I don't remember. But I'm going to go ahead into Electabuzz, which is going to threaten him out. I thought he was actually just going to sack it, but he actually decides to save it for later, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to go ahead and save HP Ice, which is cool, and now I can go for the safe Volt Switch. Also, I was actually fearing like an Akaberry counter like Fortress, which is why I didn't lead off with Arcanine, because I thought Fortress was going to lead off, but after that damage, he is low enough that even with an Akaberry, Arcanine can take it out with the Flare Blitz. So that's why I go into Arcanine here, and he's going to go ahead and get up his Stealth Rocks. So that was a pretty good for me, just to be able to get Arcanine in before the rocks went up. Which is going to turn out to be very, very nice, because he's not going to want to stay in. I don't know what he had. Didn't see leftovers, so it could have been Akaberry, could have been something else. And I'm going to go ahead and Flare Blitz, and he's actually just going to sack off his Mega Garchomp now. So instead of Electabuzz coming in and being able to pick up the kill there, that kill is going to go to Arcanine. Arcanine getting its first kill of the season. Finally, it only took till its 4th week, which is way too long. Arcanine should not have taken that long. But he's going to go into Drapion, and Arcanine is my Drapion switch-in, so which means I don't really have anything else to switch into this too much. And the only way he takes me out is if he goes for 2 Earthquakes. If he doesn't go for 2 Earthquakes, he doesn't take me out. So I do get that semi-prediction right. He tries to doesn't knock off anything because I have the Z Crystal, and I decide that it's probably best to get a lot of damage onto this Drapion. So I go for the Infernal Overdrive, because if I can, even if he ends up killing Arcanine, if I get a lot of damage on this, that makes Drapion really revengeable. That puts it in a range that Electabuzz can kill it, and in a range that Landoi can kill it. So he's just going to throw out the last-ditch effort, Toxic Spikes, so that way my Mons will be poisoned when I switch in, and I'm just going to take him out of the Flare Blitz. Arcanine's job was for the Drapion. That's pretty much it. And it takes out the Drapion, getting its 2nd kill, and we are still at a little bit above half. So that was really nice. I took out Mega Garchomp and Drapion, so that is 2 very offensive Mons that are gone, that I don't need to worry about switching into. And Coffee Creek is in here, so I decided it is time to show off my Komala set, which I don't expect him to be ready for. And I do not get poisoned because Komala can't get status, and he goes for the Calm Mind. Now, my investment is to be able to live any hit that Coffee Creek can go for, so it doesn't break a sub. But with Calm Minds up, he's going to be able to start breaking my sub, which is kind of scary. However, I decide that because I can outspeed, I can still kind of scout what he wants to do, and I'm actually going to substitute. And this turns out to be a really, really good play, because he tries to skill swap, but it fails because I'm behind that substitute, which is crazy. If he would have went for skill swap on the switch-in, then he would have gotten the the Comatose or whatever it is. But I'm behind a sub now, and he can't break it, I'm assuming. And he goes into Silvally, which at first, again, it's still not telling me what it is. But as I look at it, Rock Slide is super effective. Earthquake has no effect. So this is Silvally flying. Something that I'm not entirely sure what it's for. I definitely can't wait to see Trev's Team Builder video so I can see exactly what the whole purpose of this was. But he's going to go for Air Slash, and Komala is going to be so bulky and so great that it's not even going to break the substitute. So I go for the rock slide, seeing that it's super effective, and I got a bulk up, and I almost take it out. Now he has to break the sub. If he doesn't break the sub, then, you know, bad stuff's going to happen. I do get the crit. I don't know how much it mattered. It might have mattered. I really can't tell from this range. But again, he still has to attack me to take out the substitute anyway. So he's going to do that, and Komala is going to get his substitute broken, but it's going to be able to go for another rock slide, and that is going to be able to take out the Savali, which is great, because Savali was kind of a Pokemon that I was just going to deal with as it came. I didn't put in a lot of extra prep for it, because I really didn't know what it was going to do, but thankfully, because Komala has all that special defense investment, Savali really didn't do anything, which is great. So it broke my sub, and now he's going to come in with Thunderous, and at this point, it's in till I die. I can live a Choice Specs Thunderbolt from this range, so I had no problem staying in. But as you can see, that's not Choice Specs Thunderbolt. At this point, I'm not entirely sure what it is. And I think it was a 92.5 or 94% chance, or 94%, that was like the min roll, was to do either 92 or 94, somewhere in that range. So I actually had like a 50-50 chance of OHKOing. And so just to get any damage on this Thunderous is really, really good, because now it's an E-speed range of Arcanine, and Arcanine can just take it out at some point. Arcanine's actually looking pretty good against the rest of his team, depending on if that Cofagrigus is fully physically defensive, which it might be. But he is going to hit me with that Z poison move, and Komala, so much bulk, so much fatness that it still lives that Z poison move, which was a great bring, by the way, because Clefable was my Thunderous switching. But thankfully, given the situation, Komala was just in till it dies. Because I had answers to the rest of his team with stuff on my bench, I didn't need to preserve some of my Mons, which turned out to really, really help me. But he's going to go ahead into Fortress, and at this point, I'm just going to attack, because like I said, I'm just in till I can die, and that Earthquake is looking like a nice 2-hit KO, but he actually just goes for Heavy Slam instead of doing anything else, and that is going to take out Komala, but not before Komala just rips a giant hole in his team. I think at this point it's just Fortress and Cofagrigus left. He has like nothing offensive left on his team, which is clearing the way for Electabuzz. Electabuzz was really looking like it had a good matchup this game, and Electabuzz really is just going to clean up right here, because I get to Thunderbolt the Cofagrigus. I'm sorry, Thunderbolt the Fortress, and that is going to be the first kill for Electabuzz. And then from here on out, I just need to play for differential. So right now I have a 4-0 set up, but I still could blow it. But I decided to do the safe thing, and I'm going to Toxic the Cofagrigus. So now no matter what he does, he will go down eventually. All I have to do is make sure that Cofagrigus doesn't get any kills on me. And the way that I'm going to do that is, first, live this hit. Thank you, Eviolite. And second, I'm going to... Let's go for it. I'm going to... Come on, poison damage. Gosh. But I am going to switch out to my Unaware Clefable, because I saw the Calm Mind, and I really don't want him, you know, doing that to hurt me. So, yeah. He can Calm Mind all he wants, but I'm unaware and it doesn't matter. I guess at some point he could skill swap, but I just don't know how much that would be worth it. He might have been able to try that to maybe get one cheeky little kill, but instead what ends up happening is this very slow end to the battle, because stored power on the calc, it's doing like 3%, and so I just kind of have to stall this thing out. So the game is going to end up being over here. He's just going to try and Hex me, but I'm going to heal my own status so Hex does less, and so crits don't kill me, and then I'm just going to heal up so that way he can't, again, so crits can't take me out, and then I'm going to show off my Cosmic Power stored power set, just so he sees A, what set I was bringing, just so he knows, B, it was just something else to do besides straight stalling, and C, it was just like showing him that I didn't really have anything to hit him with. I was just, you know, stalling it out. But differential really is important, and getting a 4-0 win is really, really important for me. So you got to play for every differential point you can, and that's why the end of this battle is kind of stalling here. But we do pick up the win. We pick up our first win, and to have it come against Trev is really, really exciting. I know this isn't his team, so maybe this isn't him at his A+ game, but even still, getting a win is really important. And as we move on the season, we're going to be taking on like some really good players. We have our cross-division match next week, and then the final 3 weeks of the season are the teams that are right now in top 3 in our division. So if I want to make it to the playoffs, I have to beat the top 3 teams in my division, statistically. So that is going to be quite a challenge, but if I can play those matches the way that I feel like I played this match, it's going to go really, really well for me. This match, I finally didn't make any like bad plays. I was able to stay in with Mons because I had other options for certain Mons, and I think he predicted me to just play it a little bit more safe, but from my end, I really was playing it safe. You know, when Drapion was in, I figured he was going to go for knockoff. I was also fearing like a substitute or a sword stance. You know, you never know, and you know, in situations like that where it didn't matter, or where I didn't have another good option, the safest play was for me to just stay in, or was for me to stay in and sack something off. But at the end of the day, you know, that's why I made the plays I made. I feel like I played everything, you know, perfectly. And he dies to the poison, which is another kill for Electabuzz, which is really cool. Electabuzz, Arcanine, and Komala got 2 kills each, so that's really, really cool. And that is finally going to put us in the win column. But yeah, so as I was saying, as that battle was winding to an end, I really do feel like I played this game as perfectly as I possibly could have. I really put a lot of time and effort in the prep to make sure that the Mons that he did bring weren't going to just run through my team. So I am very, very happy with how this game turned out and how I ended up prepping and how I ended up playing. Hopefully, for the first time, the analysts don't need to call me a disappointment. I'm sure Chaos still will. But, Shroom, please love me. Kamala did stuff, so be nice to me for 1 week. I beg of you. But besides that, yeah, we got our first win. And, yeah, hopefully that's going to translate to more wins, because we really do need them. And I really am, you know, looking forward to getting some more wins and to making our team better. So if you guys have made it this long in the video, I should have started this at the beginning of the video, but there is going to be a 1 week break between week 4 and week 5, and during that break we are actually going to have a free agent period where we can make 2 free agent transfers, and I plan to take full advantage of that and to make my team even better and even scarier for the rest of the teams that I play to go up against. So that's going to be really exciting, and we are going to be talking about that week 5. Week 5 we're playing Cloud Envy of the Jersey Weebiles, and that should be a very interesting matchup. Very excited for that. For the rest of the season, we are playing people that we have never played, so I'm very excited to be taking on new people, and hopefully we can show them that there was a reason that we have made playoffs the past 2 seasons in the TBU. Well, I guess technically last one. The other one was kind of handed to me. But last year we earned our way into the playoffs, or last season we earned our way into the playoffs, and I think it's time to show people why we are a playoff team and why I'm not terrible. So that is what I'm off to prove, and that is what I'm going to prove. So let me know what you thought about this battle and all that good stuff. So that should be everything. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, stay safe.